Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. In this one we're going to be talking about the Rings of Power episode 8, the finale called Alloyed. Let's just do a whole massive review on it because it was the finale. It did have a lot in it. We start off with fake Gandalf.
It was more of a WTF moment.
In what?
I feel like
the entire episode?
Opening scene. No, well, I mean the whole season, but the entire first opening scene was like that GIF that you see where the guy's like, "What? What the fuck?" Yes, it was literally like that. But go on.
Yeah, so we see fake Gandalf in the Greenwood, and the warrior nuns, as Sham called them, meet up with him, and they tell him that he's Sauron.
They speak.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do speak.
For the first time in 8 episodes.
They do speak. They tell him he's Sauron, and then the credits roll, and we're like, oh my god, we're in for an episode. I think that's what happens, right?
Yeah, the intro comes in. I nearly threw my popcorn at the screen because I was
gonna say I cannot wait because Sham keeps on saying someone else is Sauron, and the fact that they said this guy is Sauron and he's not fake Gandalf, he's not Gandalf, it's gonna blow a gasket.
To be fair, commendment actually, because that staff was the staff of Sauron.
I told you, right? It had an eye in it. I told you. Yeah.
I didn't see that because I was waiting for Eminem and the the other two people to speak.
Stan.
Stan, I was waiting for them to talk and they never did. So I wasn't fixating on the staff. I was fixating on this person that's not going to talk.
We go back to Galadriel. She's come back home, and Celebrimbor and Elrond have sort of lost hope, and they're talking about leaving. Galadriel and Elrond talk, and Celebrimbor meets Halbrand. Halbrand gives him advice, saying that, have you tried to stretch the ally? Have you tried to mix in merge it with other alloys to strengthen it, because it's a possibility. Not that one of the greatest smiths of all time wouldn't have thought of that, but let's just have someone else tell you that. We then go to Numenor, and the king is nearly dead, and the Elendil's daughter is there to draw him. This is a funny bit. Elendil's daughter goes to draw him. He inadvertently shows her.
He does a Viserys where he mistakes that person for someone else.
He does. He does do a Viserys, doesn't he? Yeah. He does. He shows her the path. Opens up the path to the Palantir, the Seeing Stone. Is that what it's called again?
It's one of the Seeing Stones, yeah.
One of the Seeing Stones. And then we don't see any of that throughout the rest of the episode.
She's not a real character. It's just like, on your way.
Yeah. Then we have a meeting with Galadriel, Halbrand, the High King, and Celebrimbor. And Galadriel spots Halbrand saying the same thing to Celebrimbor that Adar did to Galadriel back in episode 6 or 7, talking about when you're building something, Celebrimbor says this, doesn't he?
He's the one, yeah.
Halbrand's not there. I don't know why I said Halbrand. Is Halbrand there?
No.
It's not. I don't know why I said Halbrand.
You just finished watching it. How can you forget?
I don't know what's happened. But Celebrimbor basically says building something to have power over flesh. And Galadriel's automatically like, did you have a meeting? Was Halbrand anywhere near you? Did you have a meeting with him? Or anyone?
It takes her back to the first episode where she reads that. I think she has I think they kind of. She's trying to figure out what they were doing in the first episode in that hill, and then obviously when she talks to Adar, he says that's what he says is power over flesh, basically.
Yeah. Anyway, Elrond pleads with the king, and the king allows for the task of building something from a crown, building a crown from
I love that.
The alloys.
I love that. It's like, we're going to start, it's like any project anybody has ever done. We're going to start here. This is the end goal. And then halfway through, they're like, Nah, it's not really working. It's just it's almost like client expectation versus budget.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
it's like.
yeah. Oh no, we're gonna have to put it down a bit.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Sorry, we can't give you a crown, but we're gonna give you 3 little jewels. It's like, let's make it smaller.
We can't give you a crown, but here's what we can offer you instead. Same
Yeah, it's too
payment, same
expensive.
payment, same payment. Galadriel then has a moment with Halbrand, but whilst in previous episodes we might have seen it as a sweet moment, we now see a suspicious look in Galadriel's face.
There were too many moments like that in this episode where they concentrated on her face, and she has like a really weird twitch here, and it's like, she can't like, she can't act angry, or I don't know what that expression is, but it's kind of like, I can't even do it, but it's just like, we don't need to see that. But anyway, go on. Sorry. I thought that was a genius. I thought this bit was genius, by the way. I did think it was actually quite cleverly done.
Which bit? As in
the bit you're about to talk about. I thought that was very clever. That the way when she confronts him.
Yeah.
To be like, who are you?
I mean, that happens later. There's quite a bit happens before that. Where we go back to the warrior nuns, and I sort of like check, because on Prime you can sort of press pause and it tells you the names of things, and they're called the Dweller, the Nomad, and the Ascetic. Not that we'll have to worry about their names for a lot longer, but anyway, they tell fake Gandalf or Sauron about Rune. They put him to sleep and bind him because they can't control him. He's all over the place. Just so happens that the Harfoot Fellowship is in the same place, but because they're not that good at hiding, even though they're supposed to be good at hiding, they get caught.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
And Sadok, Lenny Henry, gets stabbed.
Oh man, that was sad.
That was quite sad.
Of all the people to kill, why would you kill Lenny Henry? Like, what's he ever done to anyone? Like, it's just.
I think he thought, I don't want to be in the show anymore.
Probably, yeah. I'm out.
The Fire Lady, who I think is the Dweller, just decides to burn everything down.
Do you mean Eminem?
Yeah, Eminem decides to burn everything down, and fake Gandalf, aka Sauron, is given the staff by Nori. Essentially, fake Gandalf saves everyone. He kills the 3 warrior nuns.
Can I just say one thing? It's like, what I love about that is you had one job to do. You had one job to find Sauron, and you found the person that fell out of the sky.
That was quite funny, because they immediately like, oh, hang on, that's not Sauron, it's the Ishtar, it's the other one.
Where have we seen this? Like, what was the other guys? Not Waldrick. That's the one Blackadder.
That's Baldrick.
You're not Sauron, are you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. It's Waldrick. He's like, oh, I'm in your service. You are Sauron, aren't you? Oh, and these lot are supposed to be a bit more clued on as well, which is quite
clearly
funny.
Not.
Yeah, clearly not. Anyway, so he kills them, and we now know that he's the Ishtar.
That was a beautiful scene, because when he shines, I want to say shines light, like the light of. That cinematography was brilliant, because it almost shows like the in Lord of the Rings, where they have the 9. You know, when you enter the realm world, you see them for who they really are. Yeah, undying souls.
That's what it did. That's what it did look like. They looked like sort of ghosts or ghostly apparitions, versions of themselves. But then they turned into butterflies and just bounced.
Well, there you go.
We then go back to the group of Númenóreans that are going back to Númenor, and the Queen Regent and Elendil have a little moment to themselves, talking about strength with each other. They make it back to Númenor, and there's black flags everywhere, which can only mean one thing: the king's dead. Doesn't go further than that, because we move back to Galadriel, who's again suspicious of Halbrand. Anything he does now is suspicious. Even I was getting suspicious. for someone who's not into the lore, I was like, hey, this guy's all of a sudden he wasn't in episodes 1 to 7. He wasn't as suspicious or someone to be suspicious of, and then all of a sudden he's now quite suspicious, which I suppose is how you do a villain reveal. I suppose that's how you do a villain reveal. Anyway, back to what you were mentioning. They decide, you know what, we can't make a crown, so we're gonna make rings. Or he says we're gonna make something smaller and loads of them, because we can't make one crown, we'll make smaller versions of whatever, and 2 of them. She then realizes his actual lineage, or she finds out his lineage, and he isn't a king of the Southlands. Asks him who he is, and it's sort of like, you know who I am deep down. You know who I am.
You can see the heartbreak of it, which is absolutely amazing, because she's got no expression on her face, even though she's trying to express something. She has, and I'm just like, you stupid, how did you not know? We've been saying it for weeks.
I haven't. The people who knew I haven't. I was like, this could be anyone. I thought as soon as they said in the beginning of the episode that fake Gandalf was Sauron, I was like, I knew it. To be fair,
in that specific moment, I was questioning
your sanity.
I was questioning my sanity, myself, everything. One second, yeah. There's a spider on the wall. Hang on.
It's alright. It won't kill you. It's not Sauron.
No. Yeah, I was questioning everything at that point, because I was like, I can't be wrong. I cannot be wrong. Like this, it's like one of those things you wake up and it's like, it was never real.
I was thinking, I can't wait till he starts watching it, because he will definitely start questioning it.
I was literally ready to throw my popcorn.
He'll either start questioning it, or he'll have a serious go at the show and rip into them for changing who Sauron is supposed to be.
Can you imagine
the backlash?
Oh mate, I would have come on here storming, be like, forget the review. Let's talk about the profanity and the actual, or not even the profanity. Let's talk about the betrayal, the blasphemous scenes.
Anyway, so he's Sauron. He puts her in a dreamlike state where she goes back to when she was a kid with her brother, goes back to when Halbrand first saved her, and he sort of tells her, look, why don't you be my queen, be the light. I thought, I kind of understood it to be like, I will be dark, but you will be light, and we'll both balance each other out. If you're not there, it's just going to be all darkness. So really, you need me more than I need you, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I said, I thought that was a genius bit because of the way he twisted it on her. And he was like, you're the one that wanted me to come onto the Númenórean ship. You're the one that wanted me to help Númenor. I just, and we did say that in another episode that we recorded, because we were like, he doesn't say much, and she does speak for him a lot.
Oh yeah, he doesn't answer questions. He's not a fan of answering questions. That's what it was.
And yeah, he's not, neither is she, because she doesn't answer any questions in this at all. But I thought that was a very clever scene, how they did that. So hats off to them for that.
She decides she's obviously not up for it, because he's pure evil, and Elrond happens to wake her up. Sauron has left, and Galadriel gets the thought to make 3 rings instead of 2. So that's what they decided, is how they're going to make 3 rings.
It's almost like Inception, like, is in the sense that she knew that he incepted her mind to be like.
I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before.
I don't think I have either.
Incepted. Incepted.
The one thing I think back to when I saw that scene was when Gandalf's talking to Frodo.
Okay, yeah.
Frodo, and he says, he goes, through me, he's talking about the ring. He goes, don't offer it to me, because through me, even though I'm good, through me it's going to be doing a lot of harm. So that's
what I understood when Gandalf said that. Did he say that to Bilbo? He said it to Frodo.
Frodo, yeah.
Yeah,
in
I
the,
understood
in the
that. Like
Shire.
Gandalf knew just how destructive it can be, and he doesn't want to go that way. Speaking of Gandalf, we go back to fake Gandalf, who we now know is Star. He speaks. He can speak. He can speak full sentences because they awoke him, and he's Irish, sort of.
They all are. They all are.
I don't think Gandalf was supposed to be. I don't think Gandalf. Yeah, but I think Gandalf was supposed to be Irish.
Yeah, but he probably learned it off them, isn't it?
That's true.
This, to be fair, I mean, I know this sounds stupid, but he's the only creatures that can speak that he's come across. So he's probably thinking everyone talks like that.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
I adopt this.
He has a talk with Nori, and they talk about his name, and he says, in another language, it actually means wizard.
By the way, if you're playing the game show, the home game at home, and you still haven't realised that's Gandalf, there's another scene.
No, he said it means wizard, so he could be Harry Potter. It could be anyone. It could be anyone.
Could be. He could be Sauron for all we know at this point. We know he's Gandalf, but I bet you there's someone out there that's like, could be Sauron.
It could be Sauron. I still hold out a little bit.
Yeah.
The Harpers decide to go back home. I'm assuming that was what the path that was chosen. They're going back home and they're finding a trail somewhere else. They're travelers, isn't it? They always keep moving.
Yeah, so I think they follow. I wouldn't say they follow a set route, but I think that book is kind of like, depending on where you are, this is the way to follow. It's kind of like they migrate go around in a circle.
They migrate.
Yeah. Till they find the Shire.
Yeah. Nori says she's going to go with them, but her parents decide that, you know what, you want to leave, so you should leave. We've packed up your stuff for you. I
love that bit.
We don't want you.
We don't want you to stay. We want you to go. We don't know this guy. He fell out of the sky, but you go with him.
You go with him. You have your adventures.
Great parenting.
That was actually kind of a sweet moment. And she sets off on foot with Gandalf to
the Star Place, Rune, or whatever it's called.
Ah, okay. That's what that was.
But again, if you're playing the home game, he says exactly what he says to Frodo in Moria, which is, they were like, which way do we go? And he was like, I don't know. You got basically, there's a sweet smell over here. And he goes like, and then he turns to her and he was like, when in doubt, follow your nose. And I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Done with this. How can you
stop copying our movies? Stop copying our movies.
Make your own shit up. I feel betrayed. How many hobbits have you said that to? Because that doesn't feel like that's the only, Frodo was the only one.
We then go back to Celebrimbor, Elrond, and Galadriel, and they've made the 3 rings, all fitted with 3 different jewels, which take care of 3 different things, I'm assuming.
They show the jewels in the beginning when Hellbrand's there,
and
he's asking about the jewels.
Yeah. And then the final scene we see is Sauron in his hooded cloak, walking. And we pan out and we see Mount Doom in the distance. Well, it's not really that far away, really. He's quite close to it, but he's basically at Mount Doom in Mordor. And the season finale of Rings of Power ends there. So what did you think? Or what were your pros? What was your 1 pro and 1 con? You're going to give me like 20 different pros and cons now.
No. Pros.
I'll tell you mine. It's an easy one. We finally get told the names. We finally are put out of our misery that is Sauron.
Yeah, if you didn't know already, yeah.
That is Gandalf. That's Sauron and that's Gandalf.
I think that's a pro as well, because for people who don't know anything about the lore, you've never watched it, it gives you confirmation that the people some people may not know or whatever, they give you that confidence. The only thing they do in this is they give you the confirmation that this is Gandalf, this is Sauron. So that's a pro. Obviously, I love the cinematography. I actually think that
the production value of the show is second to none. It's absolutely amazing. Even the costumes and the music, even.
The music is good. Amazing.
I might be wrong. Let me quickly check, but I think it's done by the same guy who did God of War.
Really? The same composer? Music composer, sure.
The same music composer.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah. It's the same guy who did the 2018 God of War game, which is absolutely amazing score in that. And so the music's amazing, the cinematography's amazing. You can't really doubt the action. There wasn't really that much action in this show, but still amazing. And obviously the special effects. The acting, I would say, was pretty good. Well, obviously, Chum has different opinion.
I didn't think the acting was that good, and I think also the episode could have been a little bit shorter because the whole bit between female Sam and female Frodo, I get it, but it's like they just stretched it out a bit too long.
No, that was heartwarming. You wouldn't be saying that if that was Frodo and Sam. You wouldn't be saying that. You needed that little bit.
I would say only because the only reason I say that is because you don't see the rings until right at the end. Literally, It's like we've made these rings. We're true to the name, Rings of Power. See you next season. And then, but it's like I kind of wanted it to go back to that element. I wanted to go back to the Galadriel story quite quickly. Yeah. Although this is important as well. I'm not saying it's not. I just kind of wanted them to be like, okay, she's going. Yeah, you're bad parents. You're letting a child go with a stranger. It's fine. Just go. But
that was your con.
Yeah, I wanted to. Nah, do you know what?
That was a con. So
that was a con. I mean, overall, the acting. We all know I've got an issue with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I'll tell you mine. My one con. It was too much. They did too much for a finale. It's almost like they stretched out 1 to 7.
Yeah.
And then when it came to 8, they put everything in 8. Everything happened in 8. And you can't do that in a 1 hour finale. You can't do that.
Yeah.
They could even left some of it out and put it in to season 2. We didn't need to know every single person's name now. We didn't need to know the rings being made now. No,
I think the rings being made was important because I know this is going to sound crazy, but because there's still other races that he needs to go and corrupt to get them,
Fair enough.
That's what it sounded. So I think it's going to be one episode. It's going to be, this is the Elven Ring episode. This is the Dwarven Ring episode. This is the season.
I mean, they could have stretched that. Okay, maybe not next season, but they could have put that in 7 or put something in 6. And it felt like it was a lot of dialogue in 1 to 7 without anything. With oomph happening in 1 to 7, and it was just concentrated in episode 8.
This is what I said earlier on, and I was like, it's a slow burner, and there are things in there that you don't need to see, which they could have cut out. Like, for example, if they had shown us like a cliffhanger for the last episode, which would have actually driven people insane, would have been if the 3 nuns had caught up with Gandalf and said, "You're Sauron," and then cut the episode there.
Got the director right here, mate. Look at that. That's impressive.
No, but that would have made, because that would have been a week. That would have been a week of you going absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
Questioning life as you know it.
Yeah.
But it's like that would have been, so you could have then. Also, like you said, there are other episodes where they could have added things into it and stuff like that. But it did feel like it was a really slow burner. The characters were really shy, and then all of a sudden, Hellbrand grows some balls. Galadriel is just clueless.
It's like that.
And literally, and Gandalf can speak, and it's like.
And they did something in this episode which I had an issue with, and I think episode 2 or 3, I can't remember which. But it was jumping back and forth too quickly.
Yeah.
I think they did that in this episode again. They jumped back and forth between 2 different areas or 3 different areas. 2 different areas really quickly. They didn't settle on 10 to 15 minutes focusing on one thing, 10 to 15 minutes focusing on another. It was 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes and something. Go back.
Yeah. Personally, if they had not shown the Numenor stuff, I wouldn't have cared. Because I think the way they left the Numenor bit where they see the ship sail off, that for me was like, fine. I don't need to see them till season 2.
I agree with you. There was nothing of substance there, was there?
No. Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like, okay, fine, the fake character's gone to see the Palanthea or whatever it's called, the Seeing Stone.
But we didn't see anything of substance after that.
Yeah, we don't like, you know, what could she possibly have seen?
And the Numenors that were fighting in battle, they came back home. They haven't even show us them leaving the boat. They're just staring at the boat.
If they started season 2 with that scene, and then carried on, that would have made more sense, because it would have been like, okay, they finally reached home, because it took them 20 years to leave the bloody island in the first place. If we didn't see them for 2 episodes, we'd think that they're traveling quite far. If we had seen that and then they showed the vision of her touching the Seeing Stone, and then it cut to something else, or her having a conversation with Queen Muriel, then that would be like, okay, this is a good start to a program, because there's one story that you left that you're actually continuing on with. So that's one thing I would have said that I would have cut out and put it in the second season.
What were your pros, apart from, is it the same as mine, the fact that we got to see the names of the Sauron and Gandalf? We didn't actually see Gandalf, but we know it's Gandalf, and the cinematography and the production value.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a pro. I would say it's a good end, because although it's a squashed end, it is a good end, because it's like it kind of almost reminds me, and I hope they don't do this, they probably won't, but at the end of each season, if they're pretty much showing us the beginning of Lord of the Rings, where you hear Galadriel talking and everyone's lifting the rings up like this. It looks like, I
did like the ending of the episode where the song was playing, whatever song that is.
But it's pretty much the prologue. It is the prologue
to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
What is it? It's 3 for the elves.
3 for the elves,
7 for the
elves, 7 for the dwarves,
9 for the
and 9 for
man, and then 1 ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
So we'll get to hopefully see, as the seasons go forward, the creation of further rings. Were they all created by Celebrimbor? I guess it's something we'll get answered. I guess it's a question we'll get answered in future episodes.
It's one of those things where it's like, whatever the law says, it's not going to make a difference what it says, because going forward. So it's a changed story. So
overall, what would you say of this first season, in a nutshell? Out of 10. Make it easy.
Out of 10. Like 5, 6, pushing it. Like, but again, my views are very biased, because I like the lore.
You like the lore.
In terms of, if I was seeing this for the first time, I'd probably rate it a bit higher, because it is actually a very good fantasy show.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't say it's the best introduction, but actually no, it is a pretty shit introduction to Lord of the Rings. But it might prompt you to go and read the books or to see the movies,
the Jackson movies.
But I would definitely say the good things, like I said, it's slow burner, great cinematography, weird acting, dialogue could be a little bit better.
Yeah,
that's why I gave it 5 out of 10. So it's 5.
Well, let's see what season 2 holds for us. Hopefully it gets a better score than 5 or 6 out of 10 from Sean when it does eventually come out. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments, what you thought of it, and any of the lore that you thought was great in the show or missed out and they should have put in. But other than that, please like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.